where we're gonna get to 60 degrees. So what do we do on a homestead or a farm when we get a 50 to 60 degree day when the high's been up around the high 30s? We do one of the most not so fun things that you can do on the farm, and that's do winter cleaning. Look how dirty it is in here, guys. I've just got crap everywhere. That transition during summer and spring when we're really busy to fall when we start to dry off our doughs to the winter where we're just really focusing on keeping everybody fed and warm and dry. A lot of things around your homestead, around your barn can really suffer, and my feed room, my supply room is one of those places that suffers. I need to drag all of my water buckets, all of my feed buckets, all of my feed bowls, and all of my troughs out for a good scrubbing, a rinsing, and a drying, and then a big putting upping. And trust me, guys, I hoard feed bowls, I hoard buckets, because you never know what you can do with them. You can grow plants in buckets, you can haul water in buckets, carry feed, carry dirt, do all kinds of things with them. So I got a lot of them. And the reason it's really important to make sure that you're cleaning out food dishes and buckets after a while is because they just get dirty. They're like our dishes. If we eat off the same dish over and over and over, it gets really, really disgusting. There's a lot of things that can kind of get stuck on the surface of these buckets and feed bowls that just aren't really good for a goat to ingest. Because again, goats can't eat everything. They have a pretty delicate digestive system. It's not hard to upset their rumen, which does a good portion of their digestion. And the pure fact that I use a lot of these in the winter time when I'm bucketing water to stalls, or I'm bucketing water to maybe individual animals, or I flood all of my animals in because it's just too cold for them to be outside, or we're in the middle of a snowstorm and they're much safer in the barn in stalls. These buckets and feed bowls get used a lot in the winter time, and if I don't clean them and I give them a dirty dinner plate, I'm introducing them to bacteria and dirt that might make them sick in a time of year where their immune systems might already be battling the cold. They're already using a lot of calories to stay warm during the days, and I don't need to make a situation where they have to take those precious calories and use them towards fighting off sicknesses or illnesses that could have been prevented just by simply cleaning their feed bowls and their buckets. We do a huge cleaning in the fall just to let everything get cleaned, put away. It gives us a chance to put things back where they belong after a very hectic summer and spring, so that when we do need them in the wintertime, maybe quickly, they're right where they should be. They're right in the places where they belong, and I'm not spending more time than I need to digging around for buckets or feed bowls. So, hello Flu. Hello Pee-Pee Face. He's doing a lot better after we treated him for urine scald. He was not looking so great there for a little bit, and he is still not smelling great. But another reason that we're having to do that is the area that we bed them in is just way overdue for a little cleaning. I don't know if you guys can see where the board is below their hay manger. If you look over here, you should be able to see the whole board, but over there, you actually don't see the whole board. You just see a very small portion of it. So that means I need to dig it out and get some bedding down on it. It'll help eliminate that ammonia smell that can actually cause respiratory issues in the goats if they stay bedded down in it too long. And it'll just make it overall a nice, warm, dry space for them to get out of the weather when we have snow and all the inclement weather that we are guaranteed to get here in East Central Indiana during the winter. Anybody that knows these lovely boys behind me, they really make getting anything done efficiently really tough, because they're just always in your face doing this, being crazy. So it looks like the chickens are already in here trying to scratch some stuff up. But you guys can tell I've got a big job ahead of me, so I guess I should shut up and actually get to work. Ah, gross! Thanks for helping me with that urine scald, buddy. So let's go ahead, let's get to cleaning out this area. I'm just going to be throwing it over this fence and letting it compost in a pile over here, because we're actually moving our big in-ground garden just right over this way off camera. See, this is why. This is why. You're ridiculous. So no sooner did I start the task at hand that my favorite pitchfork broke. It broke. What are you gonna do about this? This is just my luck on the one day where it's gonna be warm enough where I'm gonna want to do this job. Maybe we'll do a different job. You're thinking, I can hear you right now on the other side of that screen. Don't you have another pitchfork? Yeah, but that was my favorite pitchfork. That's something you definitely don't hear outside of a homestead or a farm. That was my favorite pitchfork. But it was. I think I have some others that are worthy of being a new favorite, but all right, I think I found a suitable but much smaller substitute. So let's try this again. I'm cleaning. Don't you like it? You don't like it? I'm working so hard. Here's how you know that's a lot. Look at all of that icky, yucky, gross hay that the chicken's already going to help me break down. They're already treating it like the compost that it is. They'll come over here and they'll turn it and stuff for me, so that's pretty awesome. It's kind of part of like that regenerative part of what we're doing here on Mulberry Branch Farm. Everything has a purpose. Everything can be reused and given back to the land or the animals in some way. So now I'm going to go back up to the front of the barn and see if all of our feed bowls and our buckets are dry and ready to be put back where they need to be for the rest of the winter. So even though it might not seem like I've been out here all day in this video, I have literally been out here all day. And finally, I think all of my buckets are ready to be picked up and put back in the barn, which is both fun to organize, but also very tedious and time consuming. So now that we've actually had time to let all of our buckets and feed bowls dry in the sun, I wanted to touch on like these black buckets and stuff. It's really important when you have these black rubber buckets or the feed bowls to make sure that you're checking them pretty often because of how dark they are, and they're really preferred in the winter and by most livestock enthusiasts because they're flexible. The animals can, you know, toss them around and they don't give very much. They're really sturdy, and in the winter months this black rubber that they're made of keeps the water a little bit warmer so it doesn't freeze as quickly. However, the bad thing about these is that they will hide dirt and grime so well in the winter months. A bucket of water could be filthy and you would never really know it unless you're really stopping to inspect. And you can tell I am a fan of the different black buckets and feed bowls and everything, but it's just really important to make sure that you're checking those especially and scrubbing them really well because they hide that dirt, grime, bacteria, all of that ickiness on their surface that can cause your goats to get sick or to hold nasty things that we don't really want them to ingest. So it's really important to check those. And then of course I'm also doing this really close to feeding time, so I have a captive audience on the other side of our fence making sure that I'm doing a really good job getting these together and putting them up. And they're probably also kind of waiting for their dinner too, but they're gonna have to wait till this is done first. So it is officially day 2 of Operation Clean the Crap Out of the Barn. Get the barn clean, winter cleaning. So today we're focusing in the main part of the barn because we've got just a lot of like excess hay. I've actually got some manure and goat berries in this garbage can that I've been saving for my raised garden bed because we're doing a relocation. We've been redoing everything down there, building up the duck pen, moving the garden boxes. It's just been a big season of growth for us, but that kind of means that other things around the farm have just kind of suffered. So I've actually got a special helper coming to help me today. She's not too enthused on a Saturday, but it's good to get your kids out and for them to live the lifestyle that you live. It's good to get them out and to see your work ethic and to understand why specific things are important in specific lifestyles, and to let them know that your work, your service that you're giving to your farm, to the land, to whatever cause or lifestyle it is that you have is important. It has meaning and there's worth to it. So Joe's gonna come out here in a little bit and hopefully she'll learn a little bit about her own worth. So Joe's being really good to me today, coming out, helping me clean out the stalls, take all of this stuff out of the barn, get it nice and clean for winter, and then we'll take it over to the garden. So guys, you can tell that we've kind of let a lot of things go a little bit untended all year round. But she's really tackling a huge mountain of poo and is really learning about the grossest parts of being on a farm.
I'm lucky I got stuffed nose. I can't smell anything.
She's gonna...
I thank the Lords.
Thank the Lords for a stuffy nose. So we're almost done with cleaning up the barn. We have a few more things to do and putting things up, but I just want to stress the importance of kind of trying to keep up on your homestead, around your farm, on your house, everything, because then it just kind of piles up like this. And it's no fun and it's a lot of work, but I know a lot of you out there are like me. Life happens and certain things get pushed down to the bottom of our lists. And we really have to prioritize what's important at that point in time. We're just really lucky that in the wintertime when things start to slow down, that it's a time to really start preparing for when things go crazy. Because even though we're around the Christmas time right now, we're smack dab in the middle of Vlogmas and preparing for Christmas festivities, spring's gonna be here before you know it. So while the landscape is going to sleep and taking that time to rest, we're also taking the time to help give back to our soils, to ensure through small chores that our livestock are healthy throughout the winter because they're not eating off of dirty plates. We're taking the time to ready our garden, to amend the soils, and to get them ready for when things go crazy again. When we've got kids hitting the ground, we're putting seeds in, we're starting seeds, when we don't have a whole lot of time. The chores that we do in the wintertime help to set us up for success ahead of time here. That a lot of us don't think about setting ourselves up for success months in advance. A lot of us are just very spontaneous and in the moment people, while some of us like to plan. I think the guy behind me likes to plan a lot more than I do. He tries to. I'm a little bit more in the moment, but hopefully with the winter chores getting done, we're gonna be ready for when this place springs back to life. Are you ready for that, babe?
Yes.
You're ready for that?
Definitely.
Are you ready for the nonstop days?
I think so.
You think so? I hope so. I hope so. But before we close this out for you guys, I've got a surprise for you.